contribution that Roxy Music have had over the years. In the first part of our in-depth interview, we look at the man behind the myth as he talks about everything from his image to his recent management troubles. With his new album, Taxi, Ferry has recorded a set of other people's songs. 20 years ago, he released These Foolish Things, another set of cover versions which launched his solo career. His last solo LP, Bête Noire, was released in 1987. So is Taxi merely a vehicle, a convenient way of getting his career back on the fast track?
I like the metaphor. I think it takes you from one place to another, hopefully somewhere good.
In the 6 years between the two albums, Ferry has experienced some profound changes.
The songs I had been working on just didn't feel particularly commercial. I'm not sure if they would have gone on the radio, say, you know. And perhaps I was reflecting the period I was going through, which was quite turbulent. Nothing too sinister, it's just change of management, a lot of problems in that area, really, management problems, which went dragged on for quite a long time. Now things are much, much better, and I'm actually back with the manager that signed me and Roxy.
However, one thing remains constant, the Ferry image. In his videos, Bryan Ferry inhabits a mythical world of smoky Parisian nightclubs, long cool drinks and seductive looks. He is always the brooding loner, surrounded by beautiful women, sometimes dozens of them.
When the samba takes you out of nowhere.
An art school graduate with a fascination for the glamour of Hollywood stars of the 40s, he has carefully polished that image from the early days of his career.
I designed all the sort of sleeves that we did, the art work. I was, you know, very involved in. So we did all that ourselves, which was quite novel, I suppose. I mean, which gave it a sort of organic wholeness, if you like.
And you can see the second part of that interview in 1 hour's time.
MTV News. You hear it first.
Hi, Steve Blame here with MTV News. Since Bryan Ferry and Roxy Music released their first record, they have been pop music's most sophisticated band. But there was a lot more to their music than just a slick image. In part 2 of our Bryan Ferry and Roxy Music feature, the urbane star tells us about how his new solo album, Taxi, has taken him on a journey back to the earliest days of the band.
He'd often say, "Where have you been? What have you been doing? Been on holiday for 3 years?" And I said, "No, I've actually been working. I like to go to work, and that's what I do."
At the age of 47 and the father of 4 sons, Ferry is now careful to maintain his looks and figure.
No, I still get drunk most nights, but at the same time, I would also kind of, when I have like a trainer who I see, but just actually, I guess, is that a legacy of living in America for a lot of the time, or so on and off over the years, till you think, oh well, yeah, that's a good idea, you know, just to, and I want to be around for a bit longer yet, you know.
His sound is leaner too, and more focused than ever.
For the last 10 years, since the Avalon album, we were working 48 track, which is a lot of tape to fill. And some of that time, or most of that time, I was without a producer. So I tended to perhaps get a bit self-indulgent with recording. But I have a curious nature. I like to try out new things. I reached a point where I said, hey, this is enough. I want to get back to a simpler format, back to 24-track analog. And we found that was by far the best way.
According to Ferry, Taxi is a return to the values and working methods of the early Roxy days.
It feels very much like that, those first days. And in fact, Andy Mackay from Roxy played a little bit on on the album. And so gradually sort of people who were close to me kind of 20 years ago sort of coming back into my life again. It's quite strange.
No Bryan Ferry interview is complete without that inevitable question about the Roxy Music comeback. Will it ever happen?
Well, perhaps there should be a national lottery, a whip round. Get us together again.